What is up, everybody? Tennis Paris Brothers, what shout out in the video am I going to give you? Remind me. What's up, Shashank? What's up, Bedroom Punk? I know, really good string machine. What's up, Flame Boy? Hydra, how you doing, my good friend from somewhere across the world? I'll give you a shout out next time. Sorry about that. New York. Hopefully everything's going well over there now. I know New York was hurting because of the pandemic. Thank you. Yeah, obviously that's all credit to Alex, the opponent I played, Ian, and everybody at Essential Tennis. They've always done a wonderful job with the production, kind of the setup, obviously, and the overall editing behind the scenes. It's really amazing. There was some comments. So let me pull it up for you guys. I'm going to email this to myself because this is on Facebook Messenger and I can't log into my Facebook on a desktop for some stupid reason. So I'm going to email this screenshot to myself and read it to you guys because it's really good. It's very constructive, very supportive for what Ian has done. A 98 square inch of the Pure Drive. Maybe the Pure Strike, but it's definitely a different feeling. To be honest, Shashink, I really wish they did because I would definitely play test it, assuming the quality control was good. Tennis Paris Brothers, he started playing a little bit better, and I started to mentally blink. In all honesty, the difference that happened between the first and second set was the first set I was rolling and I was hoping to, bagel. Second set, given what's published out there right now, you could tell that I was just going for way too much. I wasn't grinding the points very well at all. So he started to pick up. Keep in mind, Alex, the person I'm playing, this is his first singles tennis match in about a year and a half. And he's living in Minnesota, so everything I believe in Minnesota is like on lockdown, unlike Wisconsin. So, you know, he's obviously not playing to his fullest ability. So you guys have to keep that in mind. So let me set up the stringing first before I read the thing that I've set up. Yeah, but you know, he's obviously a very competitive player, and a lot of the comments were right about Alex's his stronger ground stroke is definitely his backhand. His forehand, he kind of just loops and pushes it back. So his backhand wing is a lot more technically solid, and similar to mine, he feels a lot more comfortable attacking on his backhand wing. So most of the comments were absolutely correct in that regard. Oh yeah, Hydra. It's always about the lo-fi. Always about the lo-fi. JRD, it's not really a league, but it's definitely like, I guess, more of a division because it's an individual tennis tournament. So my 4-5 sectional is gonna be in Chagrin Falls, Ohio, and later on the stream, I'm actually gonna register for it. Oh, thanks, Aria. No, it's fine, no problem. Matt DiMaggio, it really depends on how often you break your strings, in all honesty. And it depends on how many rackets of your friends you're projected to be able to string on a regular basis. So you really got to sit down and do like a cost-benefit analysis of buying a stringer or not. No, Shashink, I have not used the Selinko Revolution yet. Scott actually almost gave me like 2 sets of the Selinko Revolution because that's what he uses. The issue is though, he uses 17 gauge, and I try to test 16 gauge if at all possible for consistency purposes for my channel. So, let's see. Let's just raise a little bit. Oh well. Okay, so this is one of the things that Ian got recently, like sometime after the video was released. From, obviously, I'm gonna keep it confidential because I don't know if this person wants to be, called out or not. But Ian, I've been watching many of these games, and it just hits me that this could become bigger than the U.S. Open, which is a stretch, or any other Grand Slam. It's a completely new type of tennis. I completely agree with that statement. Absolutely. I'm blown away, and many people are. Combining aspects of the gaming industry, which I completely agree to, where streamers talk about their own performance, streamer, while playing and putting that in tennis is the next level. I see this format becoming bigger than the traditional tennis format. It's all about the views, and if you can create a game that gets more views and more audience, then you will get more advertisers and therefore money, and naturally become bigger than the Grand Slams. Again, Grand Slams might be a little bit of a stretch, but let's stick to amateur tennis. This format can do that. I would say that, yes, there is potential in this format, but it's going to be a stretch to overtake the Grand Slams. This format has the potential to become more entertaining than traditional tennis, and I think it already has done that. This will become the biggest competitor to Grand Slams 10 years from now. A tennis game where your verbal skills as a player are equally important as your tennis skills. I'm hoping my memeing on Instagram and my witty remarks, guys, are a lot stronger than my forehand game. I'm completely sold. If you're searching for investors in this format in the future, hit me up. And if you're searching for a player from Europe to challenge you when COVID is over, and I can just fight regularly and stuff, I'm in. So this type of feedback, this obviously, it's about 2 paragraphs. It's really heartwarming. I really hope one of these days, and don't get me wrong, I've gotten some pretty good feedback from you guys. Oh, by the way, Brian, who's my hitting partner in PGM 21, who I would consider my virtual personal trainer at this point, is in the chat. So everybody say hi. So this type of feedback, when I got something similar to this, I believe, I think it was about a month and a half ago off of a tennis string review. I think the individual said, I don't have the comment offhand, but the individual said they were very thankful that I made the video because they were able to save a lot of money because they were using something, more expensive, like a Luxlon or Babolat RPM Blast. Again, I completely forgot. But the idea that someone is willing to reach out, first of all, someone's willing to listen to me. Apparently you crazy people out there are willing to watch my videos, put up with my antics, and hang out with me on stream. So I'm grateful for that. But the next step up is something similar to this, to where they are extremely thankful and have put a lot of thought in some sort of comment or some sort of text to be able to, reach out and, say this, because this is beautiful. This is awesome. When I got a comment similar to this, I actually I definitely teared up. It was great. PGM 21 has tried to convince me on my diet, but I'm kind of a hard rock to move on that. But in all honesty, I am starting to eat a lot better. And Brian can attest to that. I didn't drink any beer or get any fast food with him after our hour-and-a-half hitting session. What's up, Sam Lee? Oh, I'm sorry, Dijon. I'm really sorry, dude. At least you're healthy, right? That's good. I've heard a lot of good things about the Headlinks and Headlinks Tour Your Bedroom Punk, but I've never actually played with it or tried it. Matt DiMaggio, you're asking would I try to go on the UTR Pro Tour? I am not nearly good enough. So I'm going to change up this scene a little bit because someone made a comment last time when I tried to do like a world record, not a world record, but like time myself stringing a tennis racket. They wanted the timer at the bottom here, which in this case is my screen. And then there we go. So we'll do that in a little bit. Because someone in the comment sections is saying that he's not like saying I'm, you know, a BSer or anything, or that I'm lying. But when I made the claim that I could string a racket comfortably in under 15 minutes, without any like major hiccups or like major form of anxiety or rush, he says he finds it highly suspect. So I'm re-recording it, even though the last time I think my timed for my last string job of just stringing well without answering questions was, I think, 12 minutes and 5 seconds. So we'll see if I could fix that. My peak UTR, JRD. So you're asking what my peak UTR was. My peak UTR about 2.5 years ago was at a 10.5. But that is a little bit skewed because I believe in the UTR system there was a number crunch that happened, I believe, a year or about a year and a half ago. So take that for what it's worth. Yeah, Matt, just I want to talk about that later. That is a good point, but I do have someone that is following me on both YouTube and Instagram, and I was talking with this individual who is actually studying to become a doctor, specifically in immunology, the people that study the immune system. So, not an epidemiologist who study epidemics like what's happening right now. But this individual was saying, although the train might be better for social distancing, the fact that the train is going to be an 11-hour trip and the airplane will be a total of only about hour 15 to maybe hour 30 because of takeoff and landing, the plane might be a better option. But I just want to get your guys' opinion on it later. Oh yeah, my UTR should be at a 69 right now, Brian, if that were to happen. Nice. Okay, so, ooh, I love Rubens. There's a turn of black zone, Perseus? I didn't know there was a turn of black zone, Perseus. Yeah, they could be on the review waitlist. So, yeah, I'll try it. Correct, Jared, there's a few reasons for that. I would also argue, again, I'm almost 31, right? I found that both college and high school players that play regularly have a higher UTR than what is probably expected because they are expected to play tournaments, at least once a month, if not even twice a month, obviously given no pandemic. Where people like me and Brian, we don't have, the time management, we have time management skills, but it's harder for us to go for tournaments because we have obligations on the weekend. Where someone that's a junior in high school or a sophomore or junior in college, they're expected to play competitively on a very regular basis. So that's one of the reasons why. Okay, so I'm gonna get this going. This is actually for I'm restringing a racket that I hit with a subscriber actually yesterday with Brian. So they asked me to string. This individual asked me to string his racket. So hopefully I could break my 12-minute mark. So I think I gotta do a YouTube intro. Actually, I could do it. I could do it off. KD, similar to Brian, but Brian's a better person. He's a better employee than me in this field. I'm a software engineer, so I program for my full-time job. Brian is one step up. He's what you call a software architect, and he works at a bigger company, and he's much smarter than me. All right, this is the Babolat Pure Drive team. It's going to be strung with ISOSpeed baseline control 16 gauge on the mains and Wilson Sensation 16 gauge on the crosses, both at 56 pounds. Let's do this. Both cameras are rolling. This is the only racket I'm stringing today, by the way, so I have more time for questions later. All right, go. Couldn't beat it. I messed up on I think 7 weaves I had to stop like halfway through. So, damn it. Oh well, that's still pretty good though. I got a better visual of it. So, not overall disappointed. Thank you. Yeah. But overall, like, and this is the thing that I'm gonna really emphasize. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that was weird. One thing I gotta emphasize is, like, honestly, this is just kind of to flex on people, and mainly Brian. But you have to understand that as long as you can string a racket under like an hour, or just meet your quota, or just get the job done when you tell your clients it's going to be done. That's all it is at the end of the day, on top of, you know, the accuracy of the tension and how well you tie the knots. That's what's most important. This is just a speed run. This is just like a Dark Souls or Last of Us 2 kind of speed run. The speed actually really doesn't matter. So, what questions do you guys have for me? There we go. Hey Gonzo Yardi, thank you very much, man. I'm glad you found me. Gonzo Yardi, can I ask how you found my channel? Vig, if that happens, if it's been 3 months and some of it's peeling off, you know, it's either gonna break soon, so you just stick with it and start hitting a lot more and expect it to break. So like, have a backup camera, or backup, not camera, have a backup racket in your hitting session, or just get it restrung. That's my opinion. But I personally always play until it breaks, always. Yeah, Javi C, don't worry. A lot of people have been asking about a tutorial, and yeah, I am on it. It's just with everything with working out, play testing, scheduling tennis lessons that people have been begging for now, actually doing the tennis lessons, and being a full-time employee. I'm putting in about 100 to about 110 hours a week between everything, on top of, along with obviously the YouTube and YouTube editing, and anything YouTube related is falling under that category. So I'm just trying to find time. Rainier, I will go over that question, because that's a very good question, and knots are extremely underrated, and I would argue knots are the hardest part in stringing rackets, because when you're stringing a racket, the hardest part is starting and stopping. And you're always, except for the very first pull, you're always starting or ending with a knot. So I use a Parnell knot to start my crosses, and then I use a double knot for everything else, Rainier Tennis. Scotty P, I got this stand-up desk on Amazon about a year and a half ago. It's okay. The only knock I have on it is the edges aren't sharp. So if I ever do a behind the scenes thing, if you guys are ever interested in a behind the scenes thing for, what I do for you guys on YouTube and any type of YouTube related content, this microphone stand, which is actually pretty awesome. I wish it could stand a little bit higher when I'm standing, because I have to like lean over when I talk to you guys, so you get a nice deep voice that doesn't sound too hollow if I'm 2 feet this way when I'm stringing a racket. Because the edges are sloped and not actually like square shaped, I can't attach this microphone stand to my actual desk. This is like kind of like on an end table. I kind of shimmy together. So it's a good desk, but had I known I was going to do YouTube for like a serious portion of my hobby, and if not, I might be doing it full time a lot sooner than I think, I would have spent a little bit more money for a desk that has a not sloped edge towards the bottom, and maybe even a standing desk for mounting my monitors to save myself a little bit more desk space. So that's what I've been doing. Oh, really? Gonzo Yardi, that's... I have had no... I guess German... The only thing German related I might have done, Yardi, was I think it was the Kirschbaum, Black Shark and the Kirschbaum Pro Line 2. I did type in like the Kirschbaum Pro Line 2, like, is this Germany's like secret weapon for tennis strings? I think I accidentally landed on your browsing page. So again, I'm glad you found me. Cat's Mike, see ya, man. Have a good night. No change on your swing? PJM, what racket are you using, and what tension is the Slinko Hyper G in right now? Yeah, Cat's Mike. Pros have been really good consumer friendly apparently, so I'm pretty excited to play test one of them. I do have the Pros Pro, I think, Interceptor. I think that's in my box for you guys to vote on sometime in the near future. Jeff Lancero, you're asking if your Alpha Pioneer DC drop weight stringer, which you love, is it worth it to upgrade to a 2086 add-on? In my opinion, if it is compatible, and I think you could find out fairly quickly whether or not it's compatible, yes, absolutely. I personally think you should heavily consider upgrading it if it's able to be upgraded to that electric tensioner. PJM21, do you hit flat or would spin for the balls that are flying out? Raja plays tennis. You're asking, did I play college tennis, and if so, where at? Yes, I did play at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater my freshman and sophomore year. So that is the years of 2008 to 2009, my freshman year, and then 2009 to 2010, my sophomore year. I never made the lineup. In fact, my freshman year, I was in the very last spot. And then sophomore year, I improved dramatically, partially because some things happened to me to where I used tennis as kind of like a healthy outlet. And that's also the same time where I switched to a one-handed backhand. And I actually switched from a full Western forehand grip at the time to an Eastern grip because I wanted to emulate Roger Federer, and actually kind of worked. But I was one spot away from a lineup. So I was, a little bit heartbroken, but I was still kind of motivated about next year. My junior year is going to be the time where I'm going to be playing number 4, 5, or 6 singles. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to have a lineup spot. And then I saw the recruitment list for Whitewater, my incoming junior year, and you had D1 transfers and you had people that are like top 8 in state. So I talked to my coach, who I'm still very close friends with to this day. And I'm helping him out, kind of giving University of Wisconsin-Whitewater a lot more exposure for not only their tennis programs, but also using me to an extent as like kind of a recruiting platform. Because my plan is, if this YouTube thing takes off and if I do well and if I make smart, calculated risks that pay off, I do want to donate anywhere from $50,000 to $250,000 of this internet/YouTube kind of revenue towards a cause very, very similarly to what University of Wisconsin Whitewater has done for the tennis community in not only the southeastern Wisconsin, but also in the Midwest in general, to be honest. So I do want to earn it, and then I do want to give it away to a cause I believe in, which is what Whitewater has been doing lately. So that's my plan. So I ended up being an assistant coach / hitting partner my junior and senior year in my college days. Thanks, ASOMK. I'm glad. I've never had anybody hop into my stream or anybody I've seen in the comment section from Russia. So I'm glad you're here. Apparently, I'm attracting people from Australia, Europe, parts of Russia, and the South Americas too, and not just the United States. So I'm glad that you guys are having a nice little community to discuss tennis strings and other tennis stuff. So I'm glad that I'm able to bring you guys together, because again, without you guys, this whole thing would be a lot harder to do. Because believe it or not, I know Wisconsin is technically open, we're not shut down, and Brian can attest to this if he's still in the chat, but what I do is, I'm cooped up in my room because I'm working from home, because I save a lot of money, and I save time too by, doing my 40-hour-a-week job here. And it's okay, but it does, and you guys have probably experienced this as well. It starts to get lonely after a while, and you're like, you know what? I need some human interaction. Don't get me wrong. I love Brian. I love playing tennis. But, when I go home, I want to be able to, talk with, human beings. So the idea that I get to go home and hang out with you guys while answering tennis questions is, and, don't get me wrong. I'm really grateful I have a job. But this is definitely one of the better parts of my regular day. So, again, thank you very much for that. Dillian Steed, what is the best overall string? Dillian, I need to, is that with price in mind or without price in mind? Those are two different questions in my head. Calvin Gonzalez, would you recommend the Head Prestige racket? So if you're looking for a control-oriented tennis racket that has a little bit more pop than I would say the Wilson Blade, go ahead, try the Head Prestige rackets. Those that's kind of what it's been known for the past 10 to 15 years, because I have played with the Prestige in the past. Oh, Saria, I see that you uploaded a brand new video about 28 minutes ago, if Saria is still here. So I'm definitely going to put that on my watch later. I'm excited for that. I think he did give me a mention in that. So I'll take a look at it sometime after this stream. Without price in mind, Dillian Steed, I believe, this is my personal opinion, as of now, it's either the Yonex Poly Tour Pro or the Yonex Poly Tour Fire. And the Yonex Poly Tour Fire I most recently reviewed on my channel, so I would recommend that if anybody hasn't seen the Yonex Poly Tour Fire tennis string review, and you are in the market for testing a brand new polyester, take a look at it, because it's very, very highly regarded by me. It is really, really pricey at about $18 a packet. The Yonex Poly Tour Pro is a little bit softer in my opinion, and it doesn't have nearly as much, I would say, pop, because the Yonex Poly Tour Pro has more spin potential, which is kind of weird because it's softer, which is fantastic. But on flatter shots, the Yonex Poly Tour Fire was amazing. I felt like Del Potro sometimes. With price in mind, the ISO-Speed baseline control, bar none, at $40 a reel, and that is $2.50 per packet, or sorry, per racket, $2.50 per racket. You can't beat the value. And even without the price in mind, I personally think the ISO-Speed baseline control, again, without price in mind, is a slightly better version than the Babolat RPM Blast, which is 8 to 8.5 times more expensive. Yes, the Solinco Outlast as a humble brick does give more natural power than the Solinco Hyper-G. MJank, before switching rackets, I would highly recommend you take a look at what strings you're using. So the E-Zone in my opinion, is a little bit stiffer than the Babolat Pure Strike. So I would highly recommend you take a look at what strings you're using and what tension you're using on your Babolat Strike, Pure Strike 18x20 before switching rackets, because switching strings is a lot more cost effective to try out and play test than actually switching rackets. I'm just trying to save you some money. Yeah, DatBoy05. I mean, you know, we're visual animals. Humans are visual animals. So the more you see high level tennis, the more you watch and analyze in a conscious kind of analytical mindset of high level anything, and, you know, have some sort of commentary or have an analytical mind and thought behind it. Yeah, you will start to play better, in my opinion. No, it's not weird at all. No. David Liu, Alex is playing better in the second set. That's all I could say. He was playing like crap in the first, don't get me wrong. And I think I was going for a little bit too much in that portion of the second set that's published. Scotty P, if I ever want to play in that altitude, let me know. Got to get that Colorado high. I've heard a lot of good things about the Colorado high. And I'm not talking about just the altitude, but I have heard really good things about Colorado high. So I haven't been to Colorado yet, and I used to be a snowboarder back in college as well. And I haven't snowboarded in quite a bit, but I do got to make my way out there. Yeah, Rainier Tennis. So let me show you. Assemble Brick, you're asking if I'm playing in a regional tournament. I absolutely am, and that's partially why you guys are here. So with the tools and supplies. So this is the turn a string meter is what I use to make sure that I am stringing one at the right tension. And also, like, I also gauge a tension at the end of my tennis string review videos. And, you know, per, 6 hours or so of straight hitting, what tension is this string actually at now compared to what I strung it at in the beginning, which is always at 55 pounds. Calvin Gonzalez, you're asking, what should you do with worse players? You're overhitting and hitting them too deep and out. If you're hitting with worse players is kind of a bad term. If you're hitting with players that aren't nearly as, let's say, as strong as you, and that's perfectly fine. It happens all the time. Be a little bit more patient and only go for shots if you're like actually set up for it. So don't go for a flat driving approach shot if you're 2 or 3 feet behind the baseline and you are leaning back or to the side, because, the chances of that going in, I would say, is well below 30%, unless you're Tomas Burbic or Juan Martín del Potro. So when you're playing someone that's not nearly as strong of a hitter as you, or someone that isn't nearly as experienced as you, really start developing the points. Use the angles, use your height, use your spin, use a little bit of variety to eventually have your slightly weaker opponent land the ball short. Then you could tee off on it. Hey, Random Tennis, thank you very much. Welcome to the live stream. I do agree with the hype, ADM, with Jannik Sinner. I think he's going to win at least 2 or 3 hardcore Grand Slams in his career, if not even more. Guys, for your future reference, and this is from the comment that Dave Lee just said, ISO speed baseline control verging on 200 on Amazon right now. Don't buy tennis-specific stuff or any, like, industry specific stuff on Amazon. Amazon's good for like toilet paper. It's good for, you know, men's shirts, stuff like that. But for something as specific as a kind of like a generic hidden tennis string, go on an online retailer, because even if you do buy an ISOSpeed baseline control $200, which is a ripoff, so people are just kind of scamming you. So I'm glad that you guys are here listening to this. Don't do it, because even if it is actual, let's say like RPM blast or ISOSpeed baseline control, it probably isn't. So for example, one of my hitting partners who has appeared on the channel, he bought RPM blast online, and it was about half, if not even a third of the actual retail price. He bought it, and it was actually a fake. It was completely fake. So those Amazon, as an amazing of a company as they are, because they've literally revolutionized online retailing, they're so big that even their AI bots and customer service and all these algorithms can't really crack down on something as specific as the Babolat RPM blast versus Babolat RPM blast dupe, just because it's too industry specific, if you guys know what I mean. I'm doing the 4-5 singles. Correct, Scotty P. Calvin Gonzalez, do I use a dampener or no dampener? I do not use a dampener. I used to. So, my match in the last week of February for regionals, in order for me to qualify for nationals, is an 8-hour car drive, assuming no traffic, assuming no bad weather, right? If I were to take a train, no. Train's not even an option. Oh, I could do Cleveland. That's right, because Cleveland's pretty close by. Come on. So Cleveland, which is about 30 minutes away from Chagrin Falls, where my tennis tournament is at. Cleveland is about... oh my God. If I'm lucky, it's a 9-hour train commute. Jesus Christ. Nick Naris, you're trying to replace the Babolat Pure Strike Tour with the Yonex V Core 95. Just play with it. I haven't tried the Yonex V Core 95, although I haven't actually publicly announced this yet. But I am testing the V Core 95 Yonex, the new one. The new Yonex V Core 95 for 2 hours on this Saturday night with Christian. So I will actually have my very first tennis racket review for you guys, hopefully by Sunday night-ish, depending on how my weekend goes. Oh yeah, Midwest America is huge. It is big. It's big. It's very big. So if I'm unlucky, it's a 17-hour train ride, right? If I fly, there's probably going to be, a straightaway. Connecting. One or more stops? What are you talking about? One or more stops? I don't see a stop here. What the hell? So what do you guys think? Fly or train? I'm not going to drive my two-door Mercedes for 8 hours through Indiana, through basically Cleveland, Ohio, to Chagrin Falls, Ohio. I'm not going to put mileage on my sports car. It's a really bad idea. Nicholas Rios, I actually did somewhat playtest the the Babolat Pure Aero VS. I had high hopes for it. It's garbage. It's actually worse than the Babolat Pure Strike for a player stream. I absolutely hated it. So the thought is, train ride, better social distancing, right? Because hopefully I'll have a cabin to myself, or hopefully just share it to one individual. Obviously, I'm wearing a mask the entire time. I'm not an idiot. But it's anywhere from 8 to 11 hours, right? Or sorry, 8 to 18 hours on a train. But if I fly, which is, again, a metal tube up in the air with 38 other strangers, it's only going to be for 2 hours and 50 minutes. Price doesn't matter for me right now because I have a voucher for, I think it's American Airlines, because I was supposed to go to the 2020 Indian Wells, so I still have that voucher. Biking is a good option. I'll be warmed up and extremely tired. Correct, Karen. That's a good point. So if I really care about social distancing, and again, I'm healthy, I don't have any pre-existing conditions, maybe I should just fly. Just get it over with. Yeah, I did hear from my European friends and my friends that have traveled to Europe that the American train system just sucks. Well, one of the things about the train that I was kind of hoping for was I could buy in, the extra like $50 or whatever to get Wi-Fi, so I could stream with you guys, or like at least edit YouTube videos on my train trip. That'd be pretty cool. Nicholas Rios, although I am most definitely, we should do this. I almost gave it away. So, for those of you that have watched Harry Potter, or read Harry Potter, what house do you think I would fall in? So, let me make a poll real quick. Don't say it here. Don't say it here. I'll make a poll for it. I want to see your guys' answer. Let's see. Okay, I get it, guys. I'm gonna fly. I'll book it tomorrow. So overwhelming. Don't say the house yet. Let me poll. Take an Uber. Can you imagine how expensive that Uber trip would be if it's a 7.5 hour drive? Okay. So, what Harry Potter house? A $3,000 Uber? If you guys vote me in a very specific house, I'm gonna be so angry at you. Like, I'll take offense to it. Malfoy? Do I look like a pasty little bitch with blonde hair to you? Jose P, it's in Chagrin Falls, Ohio, which is it's the northeast part of Ohio, somewhat next to the Pennsylvania border. And it is 30 minutes, I think, 30 minutes east of Cleveland, Ohio. No, it's not voter fraud because I have an IP duplicate check. You can only vote once. So I'm going to let the votes trickle in. Little by little. Okay, so the one that I would be triggered at, it's actually somewhat close. I'll give you guys that. That's pretty good. But surprisingly, the one that I would have been like absolutely triggered if you guys voted was not the last one. It was the second to last one. So I'm a little bit salty right now from you guys. I'll give you guys a few more minutes. Karen, you're gonna have to, if you're using the same router, you can't. But if you have like your phone on the Wi-Fi, if you have your computer on the Wi-Fi and then your phone on whatever 4G or 5G network you have, I think you can. Zach McGowan, you're asking what I do for a living. I am a full-time software engineer, so I program. Sorry, Chairman. What was the OG question? I didn't see it. Yeah, it's funny how many of you guys, like specifically, you guys have added me on Instagram. I don't care, but I just started laughing when I kind of showed my LinkedIn profile, which obviously is public. I really don't care. I was just cracking up, just like, because I'm connecting like professional networks to people on stream, which is awesome. That's awesome. Grow my network. But for those of you that have actually added me on LinkedIn, and add me on LinkedIn, it's my full name. I don't care. Prepare to get a notification, like a job post update, a job update that is somewhere along the lines of congratulate Mark Sanset on a new job position, CEO/founder at Clapper of Cheeks LLC. Just be very prepared for that, because I will put that in there. And if LinkedIn calls me out and say, hey, you can't do that, well, I have the paperwork. I have Here is my accountant CPA signature on actual financial documents. This is real. Deal with it. Don't censor me. I am thinking about getting that domain name, Karen. Like, I am gonna try and get a domain name if I ever get time to get that. Jose P, were you the one who's also the auditor at your job? And if you see Clapper of Cheeks LLC, you're gonna immediately audit that financial statement? Like, after my World of Warcraft raid, I'm just gonna log on to LinkedIn. We get like 22 requests from people I have no idea, but obviously, you know, it's you guys, but no mutual connections, just you guys. Okay, so the poll. By the way, I think I am going to fly. If flying's not an option, then I'll take the train. If not, I'll drive. If I can't drive, I'll ride my bike. If I can't ride my bike, I'll swim across Lake Michigan, walk across Michigan State, and then swim through Lake Erie to get my tennis tournament. Okay, drum roll, please. Just, I could do that. If I ever make my LLC into an S corp, I could definitely do that. And I'm pretty sure my accountant, who's a friend of mine. Okay, someone added me. I'm not gonna say who, but someone already added me. You asshole. 2 people added me on LinkedIn. Okay, so it is a lot closer than I thought. Oh, I got a message about Andrew, or it's a comment. Was that you, Ron Laviolette, about playing Andrew Gu? I believe that is one of the individuals that someone makes an appearance at Tennis Spin. I would love to play those people. I'm assuming it's the same person. Okay. So, you guys are right. I would be 100% Slytherin. Like, not even a doubt. So you guys got that right. Ravenclaw is actually a close kind of second. Not necessarily because of the intellect, just because I guess it's like the creativity and the willingness to learn. But obviously, ambition and power is definitely, and I guess social status to an extent, is like high up on my list, which is very, very much in line with Slytherin. I'm a little bit triggered that Hufflepuff wasn't last, because the 7 people that voted Hufflepuff, I think you guys are trolling, because I have zero. I probably have negative qualities on Hufflepuff in real life. That would translate to this. It doesn't make sense. And Gryffindor, I'm not a Chad. I really think Gryffindors are toxically masculine, just absolute Chad, Thads, Brads, and Prestons. Those are Gryffindors, which I'm not. All right, guys, my guild is needing me. I cannot believe I actually said that in a virtual room of people. My God, I need to rethink my priority. My guild needs me to tank. So if you guys have any questions, leave a comment down in the section below. And if you guys haven't noticed, I already made a Discord. So if you have any questions that other people might answer, and you know, I hop in there quite often as well, especially if I have some downtime at work, or you know, if I'm between tennis lessons, I hop in there on the voice chat, and I also check the text channels. So I do have a Discord live. It is on the About page on my YouTube channel. So check that out. And as always, much love and happy hitting.